All members having voted, the secretary will close the roll. There being 40 ayes and 23 nays, the motion does prevail. The amendment is adopted. Are there any other amendments? Senator Petersen.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I'd offer the A75 amendment.
The secretary will report the A75 amendment.
It's under your
Does
name.
it have your name on it?
Senator Petersen B. moves to amend Senate File Number 878 as follows, page 6 after line 34. And this is the A75 amendment.
Senator Petersen.
Madam President, I'd like to amend the A75 amendment.
Minor change?
No, I'd like to amend the amendment. I have the A76 amendment.
Oh, okay. The secretary will report the A76 amendment.
Senator Petersen B. moved to amend the Petersen B. amendment to Senate File Number 878 as follows, page 1 after line 1. And this is the A76 amendment.
Senator Petersen.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I would refer members to Subdivision 1 of the A76 amendment. Under right to carry, I'll just read, and I think that'll give you an idea of what we're proposing here. Notwithstanding any other law to the contrary, every citizen in the state shall have an affirmative, fundamental, and constitutional right to keep and bear firearms, including the right to carry openly or concealed, carry loaded or unloaded, transport, possess, use, acquire, purchase, transfer, inherit, buy, sell, give, or otherwise dispose of or receive any firearm or self-defense device without a permit, permission, or restriction of any kind from this or by this state or any of its political subdivisions. Madam President and members, as is established in the Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights, as well as the Supreme Court in the Heller decision, and more recently in the McDonald decision, the right to bear arms is a fundamental right, and therefore any restrictions placed on it must meet the highest degree of burden, the heaviest burden of proof in order to restrict that right. Members, I would suggest to you that there is not clear evidence. In fact, there's evidence suggesting that open carry without a permit does not increase the public safety risk in any empirical way that is significant, and therefore does not meet the heavy burden of proof in order to restrict the fundamental right guaranteed to all citizens under the Second Amendment. With that as my rationale, I would urge a green vote.
Is there any discussion on the A76 amendment? Senator Latz.
Madam President, I rise to raise an objection to the amendment as being not germane under Rule 35 of the Senate rules, and as an attempt to use a bridge amendment to put this amendment before the body for a vote.
Advice? Senator Petersen.
Madam President, well, obviously, we just adopted an amendment that amends all sorts of statutes with regards to the right to use firearms and various firearm accessories. There's no way that that amendment could itself be germane and this amendment not be germane. That would be my advice.
Madam President?
Senator Latz.
Well, first of all, no one raised the question of germaneness of the A500 amendment to the underlying bill, so there was never determination as to germaneness on that. Secondly, Senate rules prohibit utilizing bridge amendments. The amendments that are offered have to be germane. If the question is raised, they have to be germane to the underlying bill as it came to the Senate floor, not as amended on the Senate floor. That's the whole idea behind prohibiting the use of bridge amendments. What you have here is sort of a double bridge attempt, really. You've got an amendment offered by Senator Petersen to which he seeks to offer another amendment. So we really have sort of a double germaneness problem here, if you will. But either way you look at it, the amendments are not germane to the underlying bill, and we ought not to be hearing them.
Is there any more advice? Then, according to 35.2, Clause 2, a non-germane amendment includes one that is intended to accomplish a substantially different purpose than that of the original bill to which it is proposed. So I rule that the amendment is not germane.
Madam President,
Senator Petersen.
I would like to appeal the ruling of the President and ask for a roll call.
Roll call requested. Okay, members. Shall the decision of the President be the judgment of the Senate? A yes vote upholds the judgment of the Senate. Tired. A yes vote upholds the judgment of the President. A no vote would overrule the judgment of the President. All right. Secretary will take the roll. All members having voted, the Secretary will close the roll. There being 38 ayes and 25 nays, the judgment of the President is sustained. Now we have before us the A75 amendment. Senator Petersen.
Madam President, I withdraw the A75 amendment.
A75 amendment has been withdrawn. Are there any other amendments? Senator Limmer.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to introduce the 825 amendment.
Secretary will report the A25 amendment. Is it under your name, Senator Limmer?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's under Newman's name.